Hello, hello, my friends. Another dedicated candle review for you today. We're going to be talking about HOMEWORX Mahogany Pumpkin. Now, this is the second review that I am doing for the trio of candles that Slatkin & Co. kindly sent to me a couple of weeks ago now. This is one of the three candles that is available as part of the Orchard Treats. It was kind of listed as a big deal over on QVC. The trio set is still available on the QVC website, and so I figured that I wanted to go ahead and share my thoughts in case you guys have been eyeing this. I believe my friend Melanie has already done an in-depth review on a lot of these candles, but being that these candles were sent to me right before I went on my trip to New England and Canada, I really didn't have much time to burn them until I came back home. So I have already uploaded the review on Sweet Autumn Nectar. I'm going to go ahead and put this review up for you guys. And then later today, I should also have the review up for the Blackberry Maple Ice Cream candle. And then once I have all of those reviews up, maybe those will help you make a decision about whether or not this trio is something that you would like to try out. So let's go ahead and talk about this candle. Like the, what was that, Sweet Autumn Nectar, this is a 3-wick candle. So a little bit different than HOMEWORX's standard packaging, which they are known for. They're pretty much known for their 4-wick 18-ounce vessels. This in the camera shot here looks very similar, although you may notice that it's a little bit smaller vessel. This is a 3-wick 14-ounce vessel. Now, last I checked, I believe that there was a sale, QVC, I'm not sure if it's really a sale or if it's just how they market it. I believe that the trio was listed for around $54 and some change. These 3 wicks typically go for $25 each on the Slatkin & Co. website. These fragrances are not available on Slatkin & Co., but just doing like a price comparison, the 4-wick candles tend to be $30 each. That's their retail price. We all know that you can always get candles on sale, but being that this is in a trio set that's currently being offered for about $54, you do have a little bit of a savings in purchasing the 3 candles in one set. So let's go ahead and talk about the fragrance notes here of Mahogany Pumpkin, because if you caught my first sniffs or my cold sniff impressions, I have to tell you guys, my opinion on this candle has changed since those cold sniff thoughts. So we have fragrance notes here of Heirloom Pumpkin, Autumn Spice, Patchouli, Red Mahogany. This candle has a pour date of May 5th, 2025. All right, so when I initially smelled this candle on cold, I wasn't in love with it, if I can be honest with you guys. It reminded me quite a bit of last year. Bath & Body Works had a candle. I'm not sure if they brought it back this year. I think it was called like Farmhouse Pumpkin and Spice or something like that. But it basically had like a pumpkin spice note mixed with a patchouli. My daughter and my husband love that fragrance, but something about that one gave me a headache. I particularly did not really enjoy it. So when I smelled this candle on cold, I was like, oh, this is kind of giving me those same type of vibes. You definitely get like this is definitely what I would call a sophisticated pumpkin spice fragrance. I am happy to say though that when this candle is burning, the patchouli note in here is not overly perfumey or quote unquote hippie like. That's usually been my turnoff with patchouli. If patchouli is too strong in a candle, I do not like it. It's just my own personal preferences. I don't really love that fragrance note, but I am happy to say that I feel like in this candle, it's very, very nicely balanced out. It gives this fragrance a little bit of a slight elevated take. The red mahogany note in here as well is kind of like gives a little bit of woodsiness, but again, it's nowhere near the depth of woody note that you typically get, say, in a lot of the Bath & Body Works candles that have that mahogany note in there. Bath & Body Works kind of tends to do that with a lot of their more quote-unquote traditionally masculine candles. They have like mahogany vanilla, mahogany coconut. What's the one that's like really popular? It's mahogany woods, something like that. I don't know. There's a lot of mahoganies, and I've never gravitated towards those fragrances at Bath & Body Works because they tend to be a little bit just too heavy and cologne-like for me. But this fragrance is not that. This fragrance is very much a nice elevated. You get pumpkin spice, similar to the pumpkin spice notes that I pick up in their autumn pumpkin candle. If you're familiar with that fragrance and if you like autumn pumpkin, that's kind of the spice note that I'm getting in here. Now, autumn pumpkin has more of an orange or citrus undertone mixed in with that candle, which I like. It lends a little bit of brightness to it, but I don't detect any kind of citrus in here. This is more so just like a good elevated spiced pumpkin mixed with a slight woody element coming from that red mahogany. And then the patchouli in here lends a little bit of elevated perfuminess, but it doesn't lean too hippie-ish. Overall, you guys, I've actually been pretty impressed with this fragrance. Considering on cold sniff, I was a little bit unsure about it. It has been a pleasant surprise for me. What has also been a pleasant surprise for me has been the performance of this candle. So I'm going to go ahead and lift it up here real quick. You can see the wicks. Very similar to what I've been talking about with a lot of the more recent HOMEWORX pours, the 2025 pours. I am experiencing that these wicks are a little bit thinner. They're a little bit longer. Now, they are self-trimming in that they are not developing huge excessive carbon balls at the end of the wicks upon burn. However, I do find that you do want to limit the burn times, or at least keep an eye on these candles. After about the 3-hour mark, you may want to extinguish them and slightly trim the wicks, because I do find that if you do extinguish these wicks without trimming them, they may fall over into the wax pool. I did have that happen with my Sweet Autumn Nectar. I was able to salvage it, but just want to let you guys know about that. Now, you don't want to trim the wicks too short, but maybe just a little bit to keep them from falling over. I would say with this candle in particular, though, that I haven't really had that problem as much as I did have it with the Sweet Autumn Nectar, but HOMEWORX has made an adjustment. I think they haven't publicized it, but my observations have been that they have made an adjustment to their wicks with a lot of their 2025 pours. They are burning a lot hotter and faster, not giving off excess soot or anything like that, but they're just giving a faster burn. So that might be something you might want to be aware of. However, the one thing that I will say that I think has been an improvement with these wicks is that I think because they're burning a little bit hotter, they are actually giving a better strength and throw. That has been my experience. This candle, you guys know I've been pretty critical of HOMEWORX 3 wicks in the past because I haven't felt like they've been as strong as the 4 wicks. This one, you guys, is a good solid 7 for me in terms of strength and throw, and that's out in the open concept. I have been pretty impressed, you guys, with this trio of candles. These are the first 3-wick candles that I have gotten from HOMEWORX where they have actually thrown in my open concept. Most of the time when I have in the past gotten 3 wicks from HOMEWORX, I pretty much relegate them to the closed concept master bedroom or to my daughter's bedroom, because I just know that the 3 wicks typically perform better in the closed concept and they get lost out in the open concept. But I've been pretty happy with the performance of this one. I've been burning this candle now for about the last 3 hours out here in my open concept in the living room, and I definitely smell it very nicely in the living room. Is it smacking me in the face and bowling me over with fragrance? No. Is it definitely present? Yes. Somebody walking into my home from the front door, the minute they open the door, they are going to smell this candle, and I've had this burning opposite. If I lift up the camera right here, you can see there's my front door back there, and I typically burn my candles. There's a little table on the other side, like if you see that window there, there's a little table on the other side of that window, and that's typically where I am burning my candles. So you can definitely smell it when you walk into the room. If you pop this candle into a hurricane, you're going to get a little bit more strength and throw. I did do that one day, and it was definitely like an 8.5. It definitely was filling up into my kitchen. But again, not so strong. And this is one of those fragrances in my opinion, you don't want it to be so strong because then it might become like headache inducing. It's very, very well done. So good job, Slatkin & Co. on this candle. You guys know, even though I received this in PR, there have been plenty of candles that I have received in PR that I have not given great reviews to. But I would just say right now that if you are eyeing this trio of candles over on QVC. If you've been a little hesitant because they're in 3 wicks, I can say this Orchard Treats collection, the 3 wicks have been performing quite well in my home. Now, if you're new to my channel and you're not familiar with the layout of my home, I do list that in the description box down below. I give square footage, the age of my home. Keep in mind, I live in a hot, dry climate, so I still have my air conditioning running. I always include like environmental factors. All of those things, you guys, you're going to want to take into account anytime anybody's giving a review, because that may affect, if you have a 5,000 square foot open concept home, candles are probably not going to perform the same way in your home as they are in mine. So I do always like to put that down there for your information. So let me know in the comment box down below, did you purchase this Orchard Treats collection? What are you thinking of it? Or maybe you picked up the other one. I think it was like Woodland something. I'm actually thinking about purchasing the Woodland set in the hand soaps. I'm really, really loving the Slatkin & Co. hand soaps. And so part of me is thinking about purchasing those. Haven't pulled the trigger on that yet, but anyways, let me know if you have purchased any of these 3 wicks from the QVC Big Deal and what your burn experience has been with it. I'm always curious to hear. Please hit thumbs up if you found this review helpful. Consider subscribing to my channel if you are new. I will have more dedicated reviews coming up for you guys this week, as well as my Caramel Sundays wish list. I have Kringle Holiday. I'm hoping to also share a little bit of my experience at the Kringle store. And then I have a little bit of a video that's kind of similar to a series that I already have going on, but also also maybe not. So just throwing that little teaser out. So if you don't want to miss it, make sure you are subscribed. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.